So we can start, but I think we also, before we begin, and also to give Hian some time to get our slides ready, if everyone doesn't mind, if to have all your videos turned on, let's take some pictures before the hack. We're also going to take some more after the hack, but that's all. When here we also have our judges and mentors with us, so we want to have a big group picture together. So I'm just going to check if everyone has their videos turned on. I'm actually going to check, so please turn it on.
My favorite part about these photos is that almost everyone has similar backgrounds. It looks so nice.
Okay, we're waiting on a few people. Thank you so much, everyone, for turning your videos on.
I'm gonna call out Diego, Johannes, Claire, Jordana. Cool.
As Venice calls out, I think I might have to trouble Din Long. Maybe you could also help to take some screenshots too, just in case tech fails me on this side.
Don't worry, I'll take it.
Okay. Then you can count us down.
Oh, Hian, can you stop the screen share first? Great, cool. Everybody ready? There are 3 pages, so they will take 3 screenshots. So we can smile. Okay, everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, next page. 3, 2, 1, smile. And last one. 3, 2, 1, smile. Lovely. Great. Thanks, guys. And all right, back to you, Hian.
Yep, I think Latika, you can feel free to start off.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the last stretch of the hack. It's been 2 full days, almost everyone working almost 12 hours each. So we're all really, really proud of you. Yes, good luck, everyone. This is the final moment of truth where all of you are going to be presenting the research and the solutions that you've come up with. And we're so excited that we have an amazing judge. We have an amazing judge panel here to listen and to give you feedback. And we also have joining us today all of the mentors that will be paired with you eventually. First, I actually want to give a big shout out to the judges. Thank you so much for taking time out on a Sunday evening to provide feedback, listen to the judges. We do have an amazing panel, and I won't do justice introducing them, so I would actually like to place the burden on them. If you could take 1 minute each, starting from Lee Lang and then moving on from Marilyn, to just introduce yourself, what your background is, and just a few words of encouragement for the teams moving forward before you put them on the chopping board.
Thank you. I'm Lee Lang from the Temasek Foundation. We are a grant maker, so we support translation research projects that in the area of food security, circular economy, and many more. So if you have any game-changing projects that you'd like to pitch to us, feel free to just drop me an email. All the best.
Hi, thanks, Lilang. I am Maria Lin. I am the founder of the Singapore chapter of the Circular Economy Club. We are an international network of circular economy professionals with 260 city chapters in 110 countries. And we spread awareness and build partnerships and ecosystems in the space. As I said yesterday, if you're really keen to spread awareness with us, then get in touch with me, and I wish you all the best. And I'm looking for some really breakthrough innovations here. Good luck.
Right. Thanks, Marine, Lilian. I'm Ras, and I run Social Collider, which is an impact aggregator So currently we have two arms of the business. One is co-working space, and the other one an academy. So after this project, regardless of the outcome, if you're interested to pursue your ideas, to give me a ping, and happy to guide you in the right directions. All the best.
Yes, hello, my name is Stephanie. I'm head of market transformation in WWF Singapore. We look after different issues such as palm oil, seafood, but also plastic. So plastic and waste management in Singapore is one of our big areas where we are trying to look for great solution, business engagement, and building awareness. So yeah, I'm really excited to hear your ideas, and yeah, I look forward to some innovative, fresh minds. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am Karina, the Operations and Investment Director at Circulate Capital. If you've not heard us, we are the world's first investment fund dedicated to preventing ocean plastic pollution in South and Southeast Asia, and we are headquartered here in Singapore. On a personal note, my background is in sustainable development. I worked for the United Nations and then moved into the corporate sector, implementing environmental projects across Asia, Africa, and Europe. And a lot of this work was in hazardous waste and cleaning up contaminated land and water. I am really excited to be able to be here with you all today. You know, to me, programs like Unleash, they represent the type of collaborative problem solving needed to ensure that solutions, you know, remain relevant to future and current generations. These are changing realities in our society, and having that youth lens is incredibly important in order to, you know, solve forward. So breathe, be confident, and just go for it.
Thank you all so much. Talents, hopefully you're not freaking out too much. Just a quick note on the judging criteria, understanding that all of you have only had 2 days, of course, to identify the problem, identify the solution, and to talk to industry experts, validate it, and so on. We have structured the judging criteria in a way as to take that into consideration, and we're focusing especially on the innovation, impact, and viability. By viability, we do hope that you've had the chance to look at whether or not your problem statement and your solution is backed by real data or experience. We have gone through this with you before, but just remember, keep your pitches short, keep them clean, and make sure you leave enough time to answer questions, because that is very important in the judging as well, that judges get to ask questions that could change their mind, right? So that's a bit about the judging criteria. Next slide, please. Just a refresh on the final prizes for everyone. So we do have Unleash as an organization providing small seed grants, if you will, for the top 3 winners. The top 3 winners will also be given a 3 to 6 month co-working space, generously volunteered by Russ from Social Collider here. Thank you so much. And the top 3 winners will also receive scholarships for the Spaceship's Impact Entrepreneurship Program. So this is essentially a 6-month online program for first-time entrepreneurs, or even for seasoned entrepreneurs, on how to measure the impact that your startup is going to create, how to look at having a robust, you know, business model, if you will, how to scale up your startup. So entrepreneurship 101, if you will. And we do hope, and we're actually sure that this will be very helpful for all of you, for the top 3 winners, once it actually comes to reaching the prototyping and implementation stage of your solutions, if you wish to do so. Next slide, please. I'll let Venice take this one. Venice, if you would like to introduce the mentors. For those of you who don't win, we do have a lot of mentors who will be guiding you towards your next steps. But Venice, go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. So we've got an exciting bunch of people that will help support you post this weekend, post hack. So you've got a great support team. Don't be afraid. Yeah, we'll talk more about this after the pitch presentation. So they're on the call at the moment, but with interest of time, we won't be introducing them one at a time. So we've got Marilyn, you know, your judge, Karina as well, Carolyn from, you saw her that day at the panel with Maya as well, and Shiva, of course. Roxanne as well, who was on the panel. Ian Ong is a consultant with Alpha Beta. He'll talk more about data. Farah, my colleague at Second Muse, a great program manager. Wei Liang Lim from Social Impact Catalyst, as well as Jia Hao and Shi Ying Li from who's doing social work and social enterprise work as well. So we can move on. Thanks, Lathika.
Yep. Okay, everyone. So the time we were waiting for, so it's pitches. So just to remind everyone, it's going to be a really short pitch. Each team gets 3 minutes, and you will be cut off after 3 minutes. I think now I'll have to invite Hien to play the sounds for us. We're going to have some warnings for you at the 1 minute mark and the half a minute mark, and also at the 3 minute mark. Hien, please.
Thanks, Xin Yi. We have a few sounds for you. Please pay attention to this. So this is the sound for the 1 minute mark. And I'll play the same sound for the 30-second mark as well. For the final moment, meaning your 3 minutes, when your 3 minutes are up, you'll hear this. I hope these are very clear and loud. If it's not clear enough, please let me know. But please pay attention to this. We're really gonna mute you after 3 minutes.
Yep. And then also after that, after each team pitch, we'll have 4 minutes for judges to ask some questions and also provide some feedback. Teams, if you're speaking at the 4 minute mark, we're gonna have to stop you. I think, Hien, I'll have to ask you to play that really loud song once again so everyone gets reminded of what it sounds like when it's time's up. Yep. So that's how it's gonna go. Yes, I think Roxanne was saying it's the sounds are a little frightening. Yeah, in case people just keep going on and on, we really have to keep to time. We don't want to keep everyone too long on a Sunday night. So without further ado, we'll invite Team 4, which is now renamed to Recyclate. I hope I'm getting it right, to prepare to share your screen and get it ready. Okay, perfect. And your 3 minutes will start now.
Oh, maybe pause the timer.
I think unmuted, right? We need to unmute.
Hi,
Yep.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yep, if Team 4, you could unmute yourselves.
I'm sorry, can we start over?
For sure, yep.
Good evening, we're at Recyclate, or Team 4. This is our group. So let me start with the problem framing. Currently in Singapore, the domestic recycle rate for plastic is only 4%. This is contributed by only 60% of Singaporean practicing recycling, and also only 40% of those recycled are up to 40% of those recycled are actually contaminated and ended up in incineration. Also, 70% of respondents in another survey showed that they do not understand what plastics to recycle. This is an alarming because by 2035, Samakau Island will be filled up, and Singapore actually has a goal on zero waste by 2030. And so our problem statement is that consumers need products that adapt to their recycling habits, because consumers mistakenly place contaminated recyclables into recycling bins. Thus, part of the goods which were supposed to be recycled ends up in incineration.
Imagine you want to be a responsible Singaporean, living a green life. What's the option you have today? You have only blue bin, where it seems like you're separating the waste, but then eventually it will all go for incineration. Let us help you to become a more sustainable and to make a huge leap towards zero waste. This is our game-changing product. Please meet Recyclate. Recyclate, it's a new recycling bin which generate energy with the help of solar panels, which helps to separate all the plastic waste and filter out only GZPE, PP, and PETE plastics, which will be later washed out and then deliver to our partners to produce a recycling solution. So from this material, our recycling partners will be able to increase 4% of recycling, which is happening today, up to 98% of recycling, producing new fibers, producing new packaging materials, but also sweaters and furniture. By this, we are tackling SDG 12 problem, mainly reducing waste generation, but also helping to Singapore to reach the golden targets towards zero waste by minimizing material going to landfill, increasing household waste to 35% and higher, but also facilitate and find the way to separate plastic waste.
Sorry, your time is up.
Sorry?
3 minutes are over.
Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Did they get any sounds?
Yeah, we didn't hear any sound actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't hear any sounds at any point, so I'm just thinking they didn't get any marks.
No.
apologize.
Yep. Hyun, can you try the sounds again before we move on?
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. I think we didn't hear that just now. In that case, I think it's would the judges be all right if we give them a bit more time just to wrap up, but just very little time? Do you would 30 seconds or 30 seconds be okay to wrap up?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
10 seconds will be fine. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, please go ahead, Regina.
So if people will use our new green, innovative recycled bin, then recyclable plastic will be cleaned just in a second after usage by the customers, and the automated and an efficient manner being delivered to a green recyclable solution. And thanks a lot for your attention.
Perfect. That was actually well within the 30 seconds. Thanks so much for that, Regina. So now we have about 4 minutes for the judges to provide some feedback and ask some questions. So judges, on to you.
Hi, this is Karina. Thank you all so much. I have one question. Interested to know what made you focus on the three particular polymer types. So with PET, HDPE, and PP, so polypropylene. Is there a reason why you excluded some of the other plastics for the scanning?
So as we found right now that with the help of infrared scanner, we will be able easily to scan these kind of materials. And that's where we started, because basically this solution is used today on the big recycling plants. But we'll need to investigate further in regards to if there are any other materials which can be scanned out.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, I would like to add a question as well. If I understand you correctly, within your machine, you wash the plastics, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So what I would like to know is what you actually do with the water, where the water comes from, and what the full cycle is of the water, how you're cleaning it and how you're recycling it.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, for the technical details. So if you see on the top, it has the reservoir where the rainwater will be collected. So it has a certain volume, which will be needed as to be calculated for one rinsing circle. Then at the bottom, there will be a filter, which will filter out some of the food remainings and keep it in a special conjunction. And then the pump, which will be also run by the energy from the solar power, the water will be pumped up again. And then we see that every time when our company or recycling company will come to empty this bin, then they will be also checking the quality of water. If this water reservoir have to be washed out because it's already too dirty, or if it's fine for another circle.
Okay, thank you.
think we do have time for at least one more question. If any judge would like to provide some feedback as well, that's also fine.
Maybe just a quick question for me. Where would you imagine this bin to be placed? Is like in every condo and HDB or in public places? Like, did you think about this?
Yeah, we were considering to start in a highly populated area, because first to understand on a test period, to see how much people are interested and if it's required to incentivize them with a financial benefit. So the same as some other reverse vending machines. So in this test period, we will be also testing what's the rate basically for cleaning out the bins. And then on a longer terms, we see that being placed next to the blue bins.
All right, I think it's a great effort. So I'll just quickly give some feedback. Yeah, so you probably just take it as you have to respond to that. So I'm not sure if within your team there are any Singaporeans within the team, and in Singapore, most of us, about 70 to 80% of us, live in flats, high-rise buildings, and these high-rise buildings, there's a common chute where rubbish is thrown down, and it just goes into this common bin. Right, so there's no green bean or blue bean, so to speak. So I think potentially this could be something that you can move on, right? Let's say if you can convince the ministry, because that is under the purview of the ministries. So if you're going to push forward this project, I would encourage you to have a further conversation, because there are more, whether it's from grants or from policies level, to encourage people to go towards this way. So I think this is one potential angle if you choose to pursue this idea, right? Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much.
Okay, so I think we've run out of time. Thank you so much, Recyclate. I think it's really interesting. And also, before we move on to the next team, which is Copper Cycle, if Copper Cycle, you could get ready to share your screen. We do understand that the judges need some time to fill out their score sheet. So we have about 45 seconds. So if I could get team 2, to start sharing, perfect. So judges, I'll be timing it. So if after the 45-second mark, if you do need more time, just let us know. Team 2, if you'd like, you can also do a sound check to make sure you're audible.
Hi, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, perfect. Thanks so much, Ashish.
Thank you. Shall I start?
Oh, hang on a moment. Let's give our judges some time to fill out the sheets. It's quite all good.
Sure.
I can see. Okay. Any judge would need more time to fill out the sheets. If not, Marilyn, you're all good. I think we're all good. Okay, let's. Sorry, Marilyn, you're on mute. Is it?
Yeah,
is it okay?
I've submitted already.
Perfect.
So
Thank you so
received.
much. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Ashish, on to you. Well, we'll start timing you now.
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ashish, and I'll be presenting on behalf of my team, Copper Cycle. Have you ever wondered why does a hawker center use so much single-use plastic for hot beverages and fruit juices? The aunties and the uncles at the hawker center would tell, unless there is a better alternative, they don't have a choice but to stick to the status quo. And for them, their business is quite important, and they wouldn't want to suffer any major losses. And at the end of the day, since they are a business entity, they would want their customers to be happy. Singapore, despite being a clean and green city, has some alarming figures, as you can see from this slide. Millions of plastics, single-use plastics being disposed, 1 to 3 per person per week. So our problem statement goes like, beverage stalls at the hawker centers need an environmental friendly reusable cup, apart from plastic paper cups, which is just as cost effective, easy to carry, durable, and easily accessible, because these beverage stalls are facing increasing pressure to reduce the single-use plastics. what's the solution? CupperCycle helps hawker centers and beverage stalls by cleaning and distributing environmental friendly reusable cups for them to fill up drinks and give it to the customers. Now you must be wondering like whether it's financially viable. So let's quickly look into the business model. You use your Copithium card to get your reusable metal or steel cup by paying a nominal fee about $3 while buying the drinks. Now, after you are done consuming, you can return the cup to a designated recycling bin located island-wide or to your nearest hawker center within 24 hours to get your nominal fee back. Now, these collected metal steel cups are properly washed and cleaned and redistributed island-wide back to those hawker beverage centers. The other option is you can keep it as a BYO by paying the full retail price of the cup. Now, some quick details like the nominal fee is only will be refunded up to within 24 hours beyond up to the grace of 48 hours. After 48 hours, the customers will be charged the full price of the cup. Consumers will be subject to rewards based on the condition of the cup they are returning, if it's cleaned or washed by themselves. If we now look into the market positioning map, there is one potential company called Revolve in the market, but it's mostly targeted at large scale events where for cold beverages or alcoholic drinks. They may not be providing low incentive and would be less convenient to recycle. And that's where we come in to provide a neutral incentive, but more, towards a systemic or adopting a systemic change in the behavior. Size of the market you can see is enormous. Our go-to-market strategies would be to create a zero-waste campaign to essentially encourage and educate people on circularity, perhaps doing a video marketing, and the ask from the investors and the potential.
Okay, Ashish, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I'm very sorry though that we didn't, the warning sounds didn't work. I think I'll have to trouble Hien to play that scary warning sound instead at the 1 minute mark, half a minute mark, and also when time's up. Sorry to stop you there, but I think you can leave your slide here. So I think on to the judges for any feedback and questions to the team.
Hi, one quick question. Who is going to pay for the incentive to make sure that this is sustainable?
You mean the nominal fee?
You mentioned nominal fee. You say incentivize people to go towards that because ultimately it must be a viable business model, right? How do you make your model viable?
So that's where you would pay a nominal fee while purchasing your drink, but the thing is you'll have to return the cup within 24 hours in order to get your nominal fee back. And you can keep the cup up to a period of 48 hours, but after that you will be charged the full price of the cup. So that's where the hawkers get some amount of capital to keep this thing going, because you cannot hold a product for an indefinite period. That would create some sort of like a supply deficit in the metal reusable metal or steel cups circulating island wide.
May I supplement this? May I supplement? I'm his teammate. My name is Candice, and we just didn't have time to say the go-to-market strategy. We are going to partner with some brands like maybe big celebrities or H&M. They definitely want to produce souvenirs. They want to have their logo and special design on the cup. So they will be the producer of the cup. So we can have some advertisement so that we will have the funding to fund the whole thing. So that will invite some visitor flow to the hawker centers, and we'll also invite we will also promote this. So the hawkers will be happy to adopt it, and they just have to run it with a little cost. And also because they do not need to use any more single-use plastic, so it will save them some cost.
Thank you, Candice.
Karina, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Okay, sorry, I was just about to speak. I'll just give some really quick feedback. Like I receive a lot of proposals of similar ideas like this in Singapore and in the region. And like Roxanne has put in the chat, it is complicated with the cleaning and logistics. So definitely as you build out the concept, do ensure that you map that. I just wanted to highlight that while I do hear this idea a lot, This is one of the first ones that I've heard that you've actually put enabling solutions specific to hawkers at the front of your design theory, and I think that's great. So really, I think being able to focus on a solution that is very specific to hawkers, that is trying to enable them to also be a part of that problem solve without them inheriting the cost, is an important differentiator for it as you develop the idea further.
And maybe
Thank
just
you,
a quick question from my end. Yeah, I'm very happy that you tackled those cups because, like, personally, I'm very stressed about them. I have maybe a very stupid question because hawker centers use plates, reusable plates, and reusable cutlery anyway in their operations already. So why don't they just use also reusable cups? Did you find out what's the real problem of the cups versus the other parts of the food that is already like reused? Because for me, your solution still is quite complicated, and I just wonder why hawker centers don't use like normal cups in their facilities.
Yes, certainly there are different single-use plastic we have to tackle, and we have very clear statistic about the large consumption of PP cups, and that is a huge problem in Singapore. For the other type of a single-use container, because they come in different size and shape, and it would be harder for different vendors to use a standardized one. But for cups, it could be more widely used. We can have some standard size, so it could be a first step to raise people's awareness on this topic.
No,
Thanks so much.
Sorry.
Stephanie, go ahead with your comment. I think that we'll have to round up this part because we don't want to keep it for too long. But please go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, because sorry, maybe I phrased my question a bit wrongly. I wondered because hawkers are already using reusable plates and reusable cutlery, and there is a washing facility. So I was wondering why, in the first place, cups are not reused so far in hawkers.
Sure, if I may take that. So this is mostly targeted to the takeaways, like, you know, when you are about to have coffee to go or juices to go. So for juices, even if you consume at the hawkers, they wouldn't give you in a, you know, a glass container or a ceramic. They would give you in a plastic cup, which is single-use plastics. So, and especially for coffee and tea in to-go containers is usually single-use plastic. So while you are dining it at the hawker, they definitely serve you in glasses, reusable
Often not.
cups.
That is exactly my point. Often for dine-in, also for cups, they use single-use. That was my point. Okay, but I understood your proposal.
Yep. In the interest of time, I think that's our last question. And thank you so much, Stephanie, for providing your feedback. I think it's very useful as some of the teams will work on this idea further. So we do have some time for the judges to fill out the forms. In the meanwhile, we also wanted to test the sounds a bit more. So Venice, could you help us with that?
Yeah, so I will be playing the 1 minute chime. 30 seconds will be the same, and then when it ends, the bell. Everyone can hear that. I'm just using my iPhone. Hope it's
perfect. Good. Thank you so much, Venice. I think it's loud and clear on my end, and I think it should be clear enough for the participants as well, hopefully. So talents, the next up we have is Trinity. If you could start sharing your screen, and also you could do a sound check just to make sure.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay, hang on a moment. Let's just check. Do the judges need a bit more time to fill out the forms? All good? Okay, perfect. Okay, Trinity, on to you.
Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome everyone, we are great and we hope to tackle Singapore's food waste problem. The biggest problem we identified is that the average Singaporean household wastes about $258 of unconsumed food every single year, mainly because households still tend to buy excess groceries. And this consumption pattern is in tension with Singapore's food security efforts and the NEA food waste reduction efforts. So we have found some players in the ecosystem who are trying to fix this problem, but the Food Bank and also Singapore Food Rescue mainly focus on non-perishable goods. So we decided to focus on perishable goods and changing consumer behavior. This means we have identified that households in Singapore have a lack of habit in planning their grocery purchases. And we would recommend the Singapore government to encourage and fund our application, which encourages middle-class households to avoid purchasing excess fresh goods. So we are great. It's an application that is easily installable on your phone and is a one go-to shopping list that includes all the different supermarkets where people are buying their food.
So how does our app work? So basically, our app will link up to e-shopping apps, so grocery stores online, and it will track the food bought by consumers. And then when customers have used up some of their food, they will input what they have used into the app. So the app has a good tracking of how much the customer has left at any point. So when the customer returns to an online store and wants to buy a similar product, if they still have some of that product left, the app will actually prompt them with a reminder, telling them to reconsider the amount that they need to buy. And in this way, with this reminder right at the point of purchase, we can help to reduce the households from buying more than they need. So moving on, why would partners continue to use us? Firstly, we incentivize customers through a point system. So this will be converted into discounts for them to use at grocery stores. The stores, on their part, will get detailed data to understand consumption patterns of their buyers. And grocery stores have been trying to reduce food waste in Singapore, so this would help them in that direction. And finally, the platform easily reaches middle-class Singaporean households, so this again helps our outreach of these stores. Our long-term vision for this is to enable a sustainable pattern of household purchases, and we hope to expand to more supermarket chains and markets and eventually provide one platform for grocery shopping and tracking. So back to Lynn.
Yeah, we have found one other application that is trying to do so, but Kozo is mainly focusing on expiry rates. Great is unique for its focus on limiting food waste online and in-app applications and messages. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. That's an amazing team photo as well. So we have some time for the judges to give their feedback, also ask some questions. If you want, you can move on to one of the content slides. Or if not, you can also keep at this team photo. On to you. Yep. So judges, whenever you're ready, you can feel free to ask away.
Right. I'll just jump in here. Right. Great idea, Trinity. And just again, comments and feedback. Number one, I think the food waste that Singaporean or a lot of the stats that's shown, I think potentially they come from the commercial food waste. For example, hotel buffets, and I'm not too sure about household food waste, how much that constitutes, because from my understanding, I think it is not that big a challenge at this particular moment. Nonetheless, I think this is good. However, my main concern will be the download and adoption rate. Nowadays, to download an app and to get people to adopt that is getting very, very tough. I know you have incentivization using points, but I can tell you, even the greatest apps out there, like for example, Shopee, right? Of course, it's a different nature, but Shopee last year, they made a loss of $1.59 billion, right? Of course, there are a lot of other issues going on, but I think downloading and getting people to adopt and then to use the app will be one area that you have to tackle if you are going to pursue this. So just a feedback and comments for you, right? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. We do have some time for more questions and feedback if the other judges would also like to chime in.
Yeah, just a quick question
Go
from
ahead,
me.
Marilyn.
It's a very brief question. I'm not sure I totally heard what was said. Is that only tackling fresh food, perishable food, or also non-perishables?
Yeah, exactly. So it's mainly on fresh perishable foods because these are the usual ones that, based on the research, people tend to either leave in the fridge too long and forget about it, or just tend to not be able to estimate the amounts properly, and so they buy extra, and then some of that goes to waste. So that's why we picked on especially perishable foods.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we did some research on other types of foods. And as mentioned, we have the food bank and Singapore Food Rescue that are already trying to collect donations of non-perishables that people don't use anymore. So we wanted something that is applicable in the household directly before it becomes the waste.
Yeah, whilst I find that very interesting, it's sort of counterintuitive to me because as a consumer, what I would be much more interested in is having basically an inventory app which has a full inventory of what I have at home, perishables and non-perishables. So when I go to the shop, I know exactly what I've got and what I haven't got. Basically, it's similar to the system a supermarket uses. Through all the scanning, they know constantly what's available in store. So I would actually have the tendency to expand the app and include all the food, so there is no waste anywhere in the system. That's just some feedback.
That's an amazing idea. Thank you so much for sharing.
I think Karina was going to speak up if you would like to take
it was actually addressed. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. If we have no more questions or feedback, we'll actually end off. So thank you so much, Trinity, for this. And we'll let the judges have some time to fill out the forms. At the same time, could we get Greenbacker to start sharing your screen? Also, I think we have received quite a bit of feedback with regards to the warnings that we're able to give in terms of the countdown. So I think we will have to play the scary sounds. If I could trouble Hien to try it out as I speak to see whether it's audible. Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah.
Please say something.
So, yep. So yep. Testing. Okay. I think I'm very sorry, everyone, but I think only these scary sounds work. So we're going to play this at when teams have 1 minute left, when they have 30 seconds left, and also when it's time for the presentation to end. And we hope that everyone, seemed that is pretty scary. I think it's the only thing that works for us so far. I'm very sorry to Recyclate, Cup-A-Cycle, and Trinity that the warnings didn't come through super well. So, okay. On to Greenbacker. If the judges are ready. Yep, I think the judges are ready. Let's go.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa from Team 1. Our team name is Greenbacker, which means Green Enablers. Beside me, I also have Giordana and Yojas in my team. And so we have discussed a lot on this topic about plastic in Singapore, and we think that it's important to address problems about food packaging in Singapore because it has been increasing, especially during the pandemic. And we want to increase the business interest and awareness towards non-plastic alternatives for food deliveries packaging in Singapore. And why we think that it's important to resolve this problem because it's only 4% of plastic waste is recycled in Singapore. And during the pandemic, the food delivery has been increasing for about 73%, and it has generated about 1,334 tons plastic. Moreover, the gross merchandise value from food delivery is expected to reach $4 billion by 2021, and it has been a lot. So if food deliveries has been increased, meaning like more plastic waste will be increased in Singapore. So go on to Yojas. Okay,
Well,
so
do you want me to continue?
Yeah,
Because
okay.
Right, sorry.
Yeah.
So our idea is to develop an online platform to connect the companies which produce
I'm sorry.
alternatives to plastic packagings to restaurants. So the goal, can you change the slide,
Yeah.
please?
Okay.
So the goal is to create a core service to provide a unique point of sales for the suppliers. And we would also provide extra services such as mentorship programs for restaurants and guidance towards plastic-free through training, mentoring, and reporting. So our business model and our revenue streams would consist in retaining a certain percentage from the sales that
About 1 minute
suppliers
left.
manage to do. And also we would also have some extra stream of revenue from our extra services. And in terms of impacts, ideas, and next steps. So our impact that we are aiming to cause is to increase restaurants' awareness and interest towards no plastic food delivery packagings, and to contribute.
About 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. And in this way, we would contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals number 12 and 13, and this would also contribute to centralize the sustainable packaging suppliers' point of sales, which are now very fragmented, and to enhancing their visibility and their possibility to maximize their sales towards the restaurants. So our implementation strategy would consist in conducting primary and secondary research to collect more detailed data, and of course to contact and gather all sustainable packaging suppliers, possibly locally. So we also contribute to support local community. And of course, we will continue by defining our KPI, develop a strong marketing strategy.
Jordana, I'm going to have to cut you off there.
Okay,
I think,
sorry.
Yep. Okay. So I think we're going to have about 4 minutes. And then if you're lucky, I think the judges might ask you a bit more and then you can expand a bit more. But judges, on to you.
Yeah, actually, sorry, I didn't catch what is the solution here. It seems like you're getting more research to do what? Sorry, can you explain a little bit of your model?
I would like to answer this. So practically, we are building a platform which will enable the suppliers. Suppliers are like eco-friendly package makers or material suppliers. And we will, with the help of the platform, all the restaurants will log into the platform and get all the information of all the suppliers and in the same platform. So how we are going to make this sustainable, for that what we did, we asked all the businesses, and we are taking like some percentage from that to put it on our platform, and we are giving services to the restaurants or food chains, like by having guidance or different kind of solutions from our platform. So to make it sustainable, we found out these ideas to make it like a circular economy and sustainable.
Sorry, why can't the supplier go directly to restaurants? Why do they need an intermediary like you? What is your value add services?
So what research we are going to do here? Why should they come to us? Because in one platform, we will have all the suppliers at once, first point. And we will also have a screening for, because there are a lot of recycled materials people are producing, but not following the right practices. So we will have that screening of suppliers who are genuinely following the right practices, so that we don't miss out anything there. So there is a way like NEA, which is like a certified certification that Singapore government provides to the producers. Like you are officially eco-friendly. So we will only pick those companies and we'll provide that data to our customer. And then they are like going through the valid channel, and they won't get into any other areas just randomly via any other sources. So
I will also add, so our user is also the businesses, meaning the food owners or restaurants. So there is the information that most of the things in Singapore is being imported, but obviously it's not. There are many suppliers, especially for food packaging, more sustainable packaging for food. So we thought it will be a good platform for the food restaurants to use this platform to find the suppliers that perhaps can provide cheaper costs for their products, for example.
Yeah, and it will be just Singapore based, and there is a gap because there are so many suppliers available in the market at this moment. But when we see the numbers, only 59 organizations in the restaurant and the food chains are valid certified for eco-friendly. So there are a lot of companies or restaurants who can actually get certification and be eco-friendly as well, to contribute to this. So that's like some.
Okay, I'm gonna have
Can
to
I
cut
ask
you.
something?
Oh, sorry, Marilyn. Sorry, I think I'll have to cut the participants off. If you could frame it as a maybe feedback instead, I think that would be helpful because I don't
Yes.
want. Yep. Thanks so much for that.
I
Sorry
just
about
wanted
that.
to add something to the conversation, because when you're a restaurant owner in Singapore, you may be interested in sustainability, but we're definitely interested in price. So where this platform can be useful, I think, is when you put all the suppliers on the same platform and then have a pricing element to it, and then drive scale. Because a lot of the innovative packaging solutions are fabulous, but they lack scale. So if the platform combines these three things, I think it would be a lot more value add for the people who are actually looking into it or wanting to adopt it.
Thanks for the feedback.
Thank you for the feedback.
Yep, and you also have some feedback coming in from Stephanie. I'm very sorry that due to time constraints, not everyone gets to speak. And also sorry that I had to make Marilyn's question become a point of feedback. So thanks so much for that. So I think judges, you have some time to input the scores. In the meanwhile, could I get the next team that would be Convenient Recyclers to start sharing your screen, and also you can do some sound checks if you'd like. And also, as and when, I think some of our mentors and facilitators are also providing some feedback. So teams, if you would look at the chat box, it will be very helpful as you continue working on this. Also, I think I'm very sorry to Greenbacker as well. It seems as though our timing system, way of timing is not really working out too well. I'm going to have to cut in as you're speaking and tell you when you have 1 minute left, and also stop you and cut you off when there are 3 minutes left. Okay, so it's going to be a bit disruptive, but so please get ready for that. Yep.
All right, so can you all hear us?
Well, okay, hang on for a moment, Johnson.
Yeah.
Also, other members of the team, we're also going to try to provide in the chat as well. When if you could look at the chat box, those that are able to look at the chat box will let you know when it's 1 minute, and also when time is when you have 1 minute left, and also provide some reactions. If you could see, then that would be helpful. So yep, Johnson, on to you.
All right, can you all see our slides change? Hello?
Yes, perfect.
All right.
It looks
All right.
good for me. Go ahead.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
We are Convenient Recyclers, presented by Johnson and Katie. Just framing our problem.
Can you all hear Katie? She's very soft, right?
Not very well.
You can't?
I cannot hear Katie, no.
Not very well, no.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry about that. We are Convenient Recyclers, presented by Johnson and myself, Katie. We are tackling the excessive amount of plastic takeaway containers that end up in landfill and or incinerated. It is estimated that 95% of plastic in Singapore is disposed after one-time use. Out of 1.7 billion plastic items, 473 million are takeaway containers. These are predominantly from the food industry, and they're still ending up in the landfill. We have come to the solution that this is because there's a lack of knowledge and awareness in Singapore across the public and the citizens. So why are the current existing solutions not working in Singapore? And this is because there's a lack of knowledge across the public and a lack of awareness of how and where to recycle. So that would be cleanliness, contamination, and which products can be disposed of which waste streams. However, we have identified that 45% would like to find out more on how to recycle, 64% are committed to being more able to segregate, and 78% are more willing. If we highlight onto the user, our target audience would be, Johnson, if you could go to the next slide, please. It would be the CBD professional who is aged from 25 to 40 with a mid-level income. His particular behavior the majority of the time is spent at work, where he consumes a lot of plastic packaging from takeaways and coffees. This user knows plastic is unsustainable, but due to the inconvenience will throw away in the mixed recycling bin, and they do not know how to recycle. We hope to impact the user to efficiently educate and inform where to recycle, and also improve the health of the user.
All right, so based on our target audience, we are looking at convenience for how can we bring convenience.
1 minute left.
Or how can we bring convenience to our target audience? So our solution is, instead of, we want to bring the solution to the CBD people. So usually CBD people buy coffee and go to work. So we want to incorporate, like, giving them an opportunity to recycle. So essentially we study the master plan and look where are the CBD's area at, which is essentially the blue color areas. So we plan to partner with SMRT by placing recycling bins that are essentially for coffee cups, and they can drop on their way homes. So it's a very simple idea, but something that we really need. So CBD areas people actually buy a lot of coffee, just that they don't have an opportunity to throw away the waste effectively. So with this, we want to bring in an opportunity for them to practice sustainability. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's for us.
Perfect, because time is up. That's amazing time management from Team 6 Convenient Recyclers. So 4 minutes, we have about 4 minutes. I'm going to have to stick to this strictly because we seem to be running a bit over time. So on to the judges.
If nobody, then I would go first because it's a discussion that we had a lot, and I'm happy that you tried to tackle the problem. I was just wondering if you looked into the fact that, like, normally coffee cups cannot be recycled because normally they are made out of paper with a linen, so they are normally not recyclable. So did you look into that?
Correct. So because rather than throwing the plastic cups or coffee cups into the general waste, we could throw it in a way that we can segregate it. Then they can actually separate the plastic inside with the paper. Rather than throwing it in general waste, then everything gets contaminated. So it is essentially just a platform because there's a gap here. So we are looking at this opportunity that we could tackle. Yeah, but we know that coffee cups cannot be recycled because of the underlying plastic inside. Yeah.
But did you find like a recycling system that can recycle cups? Because otherwise there's no point in collecting them if they can't be recycled, right?
That's true. We didn't really source for any possible execution. Yeah, but just we want to segregate because in a shopping mall, we don't really see any segregation of waste. In terms of like plastic, paper, and general waste, plastic is not segregated. So not all plastic can be recycled. So we wanted to move towards this point. Yeah.
So I'll just jump in very quickly, right? Just to share a piece of, I guess it's general knowledge with everyone. In Singapore, the waste are incinerated, right? Up to, I think, 90 to 95% of the waste is incinerated. And the air, right? So then some people will say, oh, why? Then what about the air? Disposed from this incineration. So the air is go through this chimney, special kind of technology, and then the air that comes out is cleaner than the air outside, right? So really there is no incentive. I mean, I'm just going to put a wet blanket here, but there is no incentive to recycle, upcycle any of the things because we incinerate our waste. So and then of course then we go back to the cost, right? Of course. And then of this, of course, I got from NEA, and that's why I think there's a bit of resistance. So in order to come in, I think to effect a mindset change, I think awareness and there need to be a greater impact in terms of how we can angle this. I mean, this is just to share with all the audience and some of the some piece of knowledge that I've come across, right? No right or wrong, just to share with you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's also, I just want to add to that, it's also the reason why the recycling rate of plastics is so low in Singapore, because the calorific value of plastic is very high and it's ideal fuel for an incineration plant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think, Lilang, I can see you moving towards the screen. Are you meaning to speak, or if you like to jump
just
in?
sharing that, like what Stephanie mentioned earlier on, a lot of people are not aware that the cups that they use for our coffee cannot be recycled because of the thin plastic, the film inside it. So a lot of people are now moving towards biodegradable film with the paper cup holding to it. So, I mean, the world is changing. We'll see more innovation in that space. So just I want to encourage the team to say, keep thinking.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any more comments? If not, then I think we'll move on to the next team. Okay, in the meanwhile, judges, do take the time to fill out the score sheets. And also thank you so much to Convenient Recyclers. Sorry that you're the first one on the chopping block to try out me having to interrupt you. I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Yep, I can see that this is Team 9 Food Fighters have started with a super cute photo. So if you want to do a sound check to make sure that it's working.
Yes. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can. So just a heads up that you're going to be interrupted when you have 1 minute left. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. So imagine purchasing 3 bags of groceries at the supermarket and you toss like half of one bag already on the ground, which represents the loss that often occurs during the harvest, processing, and distribution. And then arriving home, immediately toss the other half of the bag into the trash, and that's the waste experienced by the retailers and the consumers. So the grocery retailers, they need to maximize fresh food goods sold in order to maximize profits. And what we see is the problem currently is that viable and edible food gets thrown away, which leads to a big waste problem. We fail to realize the hidden value in this food. Our solution is for grocery retailers who are unable to maximize profit by selling this valuable produce due to potential liability, for example, in the case of food safety incidents. And we as the food fighters, we will be a one-stop service that allows these retailers to get cash back on food that would otherwise be a waste, unlike current solutions that are unsustainable and follow a linear line of economy. So what we see is there's a huge market for it. There's 430 million worth of food wasted by retailers in Singapore. And we're uniquely better because we offer an easy to use method, which is hassle-free, and we extract value from the food waste. We take a 10 to 15% commission on the total amount earned back and apply an audit fee. With regard to the audit fee, we start each endeavor, whether big or large, with an audit. So the business can be fully circular. That's the aim. And our strategy will be to redirect as much as food possible. So bruised fruits to bakeries and juice bars, and drooping veggies to caterers or canteens that make soups or pies. That food would be otherwise be wasted and can be easily composted or converted to biogas, a renewable source of energy. We act as mediators between the different stakeholders, and we let the retailers do what they do best, and that's actually just sell fresh products. And then the ask, in order to implement this, is introduction. The ask is about introductions to key players and key schools or universities, mentorship on the operational side, and funds to set up the matching marketplace. We will first start what we said earlier, small with the audit, and then afterwards, after proof of concept and iterating and improving, it's possible to do it tech-enabled, obviously. Thanks. That was it.
Perfect. I didn't even have to stop you off the next time. So thank you so much, food fighters. On to the judges.
I'll just jump in. Hi, Ras here. So food fighters, great. I love food. So anything talks about food, I'm pretty excited. So very quickly, right? I think it's great to talk about auditing. However, every day, okay, on a daily basis, there are about 2 million tons of food wasted every day. So how are you going to audit this? Imagine everybody goes to you. Do you have the manpower to audit all the food that is wasted? So that's number one, right? So in terms of scaling the operations, because I think that is one key area potentially to look at, right? Number two, is there like a liability issue, right? Imagine you audit it, you say, oh, it's okay to eat, but then somebody takes it and you know, I don't know, maybe there's some issues with it, right? So just two simple questions. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can maybe add the first one and then you can do the second one. So with regard to the first one, we're going to start operations super small. So it's going to be sort of a study with a small retailer, and we're going to check like validating our idea and doing the proof of concept, like what is coming in, what is coming out. And that's the most important thing. And what is going out is mainly, we're going to check what it can be redirected and what is sort of edible and in what kind of numbers. Is it fruits? Is it potatoes? And the other part, for example, the parts that are not edible, we can redirect it to fully recycle. So it can be, that's the aim, to be fully circular with those businesses, and they can earn back on that food waste then. So we're going to start definitely small, otherwise we don't have any capacity, obviously. And it is later possible to scale it. And then the second question, maybe that Duri can take over.
Yeah, so with respect to, food produce that we're checking, so there are two aspects that I would like to comment on. First would be that obviously that the people who are working at these retailers, they will be trained either by the food chain, the company itself, or maybe by our company if required, on to decide and make up stringent rules that, okay, this is the point where it can't be redirected anymore, it has to be recycled. And secondly, we want to make meals and food that are okay with using vegetables and fruits that are not in their best state of life. So maybe something like soups, pies. So, hopefully that sort of decreases the risk of any liability that might come our way.
I have one question regarding your audit. Who's going to pay for that? As well as when you talk about redirecting in or out, logistically, who is paying for those services as well?
So that's actually the commission we were asking. And we're asking an audit fee because the audit will take some time, obviously. And then we ask them a commission for doing the reverse logistics, what it basically is, because we need to pick it up. And we ask then a 10 to 15% commission. This is something now just based on assumptions, obviously. So that needs to be tested out. And the audit fee is something they get insight about their behavior, which is super valuable. And then they will also have, of course, get money back for food that would normally wasted or they would charge to let that dispose. So that's the structure we had in mind.
Yeah, I would like to add a few comments. I don't know at the moment what retailers do with their waste. So I don't know if you've been able to look into that, but it would be good to know that and integrate it with the solution. And then also just to look at the waste, that the bigger impact of it, especially food, maybe you should add it to some social enterprise idea so it benefits society as well. And maybe then, somehow it can be funded through very different channels. So that's my feedback.
I'll take that. So currently we had a look
I'm
at...
sorry, Drew. Yeah, I think due to time constraints, we're going to keep it at that feedback instead. I'm sorry about that. So, yep, thank you so much for your understanding, everyone. So I think also, I think Karina, you didn't have that much time to comment. If you'd like, maybe you can give some comments as well. I'm sorry that because of the time constraints. So if you want, the floor is yours. It's all good? Okay. So judges, you have some time to actually fill out the forms, and then thank you so much, and sorry for cutting you off, Food Fridays. So we also have quite a lot of feedback come in from Roxanne and Carolyn as the team was speaking. So for potential partners and people to speak to. So teams, once you're done with the presentation, please feel free to look at the comments and feedback in the chat box. And if I could get team 5, which is the Singlish, to start sharing your screen and kind of do an audio check so you can move things along, that would be great. Major thank you to Food Fighters.
Good evening.
Testing, testing. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Perfect. We don't see the screen though.
Yep, I'll be sharing my screen. Hold on. So we actually renamed ourselves.
What's the new name now? The Cup Busters? Okay, perfect. Okay. Sorry for getting your names wrong. We're gonna have to wait for a while as the judges fill out the forms. We had a really good presentation from Team 9, the Food Fighters. So now we're waiting. Now on to this one. This is Team 5, which used to be the Singlish, but now is the Cup Busters. Okay, so whenever you're ready, team, it's all yours.
Welcome. Go back to the first slide.
Shania, you're spoiling it.
All right. All right, welcome everyone to the Cup Busters. Get ready to say goodbye to disposable cups in Singapore. So firstly, our question is to you. How many single-use cups do you think you use in 365 days? So according to the Singapore Environmental Council, Singaporeans use about 473 million single-use plastic items in 2018, or about 180 items per person per year. Our group will be having disposable cups as a focus. Next. So firstly, before we start, we'll define our user profile, which is John Tan here. He's a normal Singaporean male working in a medium-sized tech company. He grabs coffee first thing in the morning and has a cool drink in the afternoon. He knows he needs to be more sustainable, but he hasn't really done anything yet to change his behavior. Next. So our problem framing is this. John needs a cheap and convenient takeaway drink, for example, coffee in the morning or iced Milo in the afternoon, from the hawker center. He wants to be green, but this is in conflict with the fact that the plastic packaging is more convenient, cheaper, and perceived to be safer for him and the drink store auntie or uncle. Next.
Our solution is a reusable cup system where users can borrow cups from vendors and return them at vending machines located at convenient collection points. The first part of our solution involves a network of reusable cup vendors like hawker centers, large coffee chains, and small cafes. Our collapsible cups will be made from 100% ocean or recycled plastic. Our collapsible cups will be returned at vending machines where they are collected, washed, and transported back to the vendor. These vending machines will be strategically placed at office buildings, MRT stations, and high footfall areas.
So our vision is that by 2030, we want our cups as the mainstream for takeaways in hawker centers and cafes all over Singapore. But what's our business model?
1 minute left.
To generate revenue, we will place ads on the vending machines and the cups and get a participation fee from big corporation vendors and tap into government support. With regards to cost, there's a fee of producing the cups, maintaining the machines, and transporting the cups back to vendors.
So we cannot make that happen overnight, right? So we plan to do it in multiple phases. The first one will be a minimum viable product in which we will test it in a physical store and also work with NUS to start engineering the machine. And the following phases are to test the machine, iterate, and hopefully make it viable in all Singapore and make it become mainstream.
So these are our main asks, spanning from research to partnership to funding with both the vendors and the tenants to place our vending machines. To end off, we are the Cup Busters and we want sustainable consumption to be the mainstream, one cup at a time. Cheers.
Perfect. That was perfect timing, and I love the ending slide. So we have about 4 minutes for the judges to provide some feedback and also ask you questions.
Okay, great. I'll just quickly jump in. Yeah, so I think that we've obviously spoken a bit about different reuse schemes. So I think it's good that you have already thought through some of the cost challenge and logistics challenges with that. So out of interest, where would you put your first and second locations that you outlined on your plan?
I think we would place our vending machines at the, we would place one in a central business district common area, like an office building, and we would place another one at MRT station, perhaps at like Buena Vista or Ang Mo Kio, where there's also a high footfall. But we want to diversify our target audience beyond the CBD district, which I think most reusable schemes currently target.
So the idea is to test the concept first in an easy location, like next to an office. So if there is a shared office, is maybe have one table and start talking about the concept and start this process actually of going there and then dropping the cap, and then later on open it island wide.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, we can talk about it for longer, but I think we have to keep it short.
Really
trying to keep it short. We actually have some slides for follow-up questions as well, but for the sake of time.
Maybe just a quick question from my end. There are already some existing reusable cup scheme. Did you analyze them, and did you find some of the the facts that did not work well? So what would you improve in comparison to those?
So we actually had a call with Roxanne this morning just now, and talked through some of the challenges of reusable schemes. And so since our focus was on hawker centers, we acknowledge that hawker centers, it's very hard for them as older generation, and also they have limited space and manpower and time and effort to actually handle reusables. So we aim to do this vending machine to help take the workload off of them. So it's an independent system where consumers can use reusables while not still burdening the actual hawker centers, hawker stalls.
Is to try to semi-automate it as well. Trying to build a machine that would collect it. And because also when we discussed with Roxanne, and definitely one of the main issue would be the return of the cup, right? So if you don't track it, if they don't have an app to actually, or a subscription, then how can we do it? So that's one of the big questions that we have. But we want to try to make it so that you don't need an app in the first place. So that would be this semi-automated machine that collects it, washes it, and then so the logistic would be just collect it and bring it to the vendor.
I have a very simple question. Are you using any bareback or Muse yourself right now? Do you have experience with the proposition?
Haven't used it myself.
Yeah.
I think the guys, we really know the concept, but we haven't used it yet.
Okay, thanks.
Would love to.
Okay.
I think today we downloaded everything now, so we will definitely.
In the interest of time, we won't be taking any more questions, but if one of the judges want to jump in with some feedback, feel free to do so right now. Would you like to jump in, or anyone? Okay, then I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much also to this team. I think you were saying you were trying to keep to time. I really appreciate that. And I think that was super good timing. So we'll let the judges fill out the forms. And at the same time, could I invite Team 8? Team 8 is currently named as Team Shiokla. So please do correct me if you changed your name. So you can feel free to start sharing, do a bit of a sound check.
Yeah, hi guys, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, it's good.
And we stuck with the same name. We're not that creative, unfortunately.
It's good. I like that your background is also all ready. So the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
Okay, ready, guys? Okay. Hi, judges. We're Team Shokla. We've been exploring the issue of food waste in Singapore, and we're passionate about finding a solution to avoidable food waste. So I'll take you through our slides and our proposed solution concept. So if we go on to the next slide, the scale of the food waste challenge in Singapore is fairly well publicised, but I think there were two key statistics that stood out for us in our research. First of all, that 13% of food waste happens in supermarkets, and second of all, that 10% of Singaporean households face moderate or severe food insecurity at some point in the past 12 months. So for us, these two facts presented a real friction that we wanted to look at to solve. So we go on to the next slide. So our statement that we're trying to solve is we want to help Singaporean supermarket chains to reduce food waste by upscaling food and fighting food insecurity. So we go on to the next slide. So currently there is a solution in Singapore for food waste, but I think we've identified a number of inefficiencies. So we've got the typical model here that food comes to supermarkets, it expires, it either gets incinerated or goes to a food bank, and the donations go out to the end users. And I think we've kind of identified there's inefficiencies of time, labour intensity, and choice of food products by the recipients. So we go on to the next slide. So our solution is proposing to reduce leakages in the current linear model. We're proposing a circular approach to reducing food waste and food insecurity in Singapore. Instead of donating food to NGOs, we believe there's an opportunity to change the nature of the resources available for them to use to alleviate food security. We're proposing a social venture that's a profit-driven enterprise with a clear purpose. Firstly, we'll partner with supermarkets to identify and collect food items approaching their sell-by date. Secondly, we'll use these items in preparing nutritious takeaway meals for sale to the public. We'll partner with cloud kitchens to prepare these meals immediately upon collection of food items from retailers. And we'll also partner with existing food delivery platforms to sell and deliver these meals. As a commercial enterprise, we'll be generating profits from this venture, and these will be directed to partner NGOs to use in the most efficient way for them.
1 minute left.
Our solution, we're going to the next slide. Our solution is set up for success because it's highly scalable, it's tapping into existing global commercial platforms, and it's not subject to geographical barriers. It could work in any country. It's innovative. Unlike existing solutions, we're looking at upscaling food waste to create a more valuable product and give resources further down the supply chain rather than redistributing. Because it's profit driven, as a commercial enterprise, there's a reason for everyone to buy in, and there's measurable impact at all levels of the supply chain. In terms of next steps, if we go on to the next slide quickly, we'd like to validate our assumptions in our use case, initiate partnership discussions and scope out a pilot, and secure backing and mentorship. And on our final slide, we just highlighted the main areas where we're addressing the SDGs. So 12.3 in particular, we're helping Singapore to halve per capita food waste. We're helping to end hunger and achieving food security. And particularly, we're quite proud of the partnership model that we're trying to leverage different players in the current economic system to drive impact and get buy-in from everybody. That's it.
I'm particularly proud that you kept the time as well. Thank you so much for that. It's amazing. Oh, so now on to the judges for questions and feedback. I can see Stephanie, I think you were speaking, but you might be on mute. Oh, sorry about that.
No, I didn't, but awesome presentation.
Sorry about that for calling you out. I was just in case.
I think it's awesome presentation, like what Stephanie said. Where do you think are your biggest hurdles in terms of securing partnerships? Because food waste sometimes from a supermarket, you may have certain type of food, may not necessarily be what the retailer might be selling, may not be what the consumer wants. So I was wondering, what are your challenges?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and it's something we discussed as a team. We discussed what foods are available and what is the reliability of the food sources. And I think what we ultimately agreed is that we're not looking at just using the waste to prepare the meals, it's using the waste to supplement the meals. So I think we're not looking to change consumer habits, which is, we talk a lot about the intention action gap and nudging behaviors. And I think what we're trying to do is tap into existing behaviors and existing systems. So we want to use the food as a supplement. We definitely need to explore what foods are out there, what kind of recipes that we can generate. But I think there's so much, I think, going on in our heads at the minute with this idea. It's hard to kind of put it all into one presentation. But I think because it's a commercial model, there's buy-in for everyone to make it a success. We're pretty excited about it. I don't think I necessarily answered your question, though, so apologies for that.
Well, if I could just follow on from you, Nick, in terms of what we really feel is a challenge. I think, as you said, it is a commercial venture, and so having so much unreliability in the supply chain, even though it is only supplementing our products, is going to be something we're going to have to work through. I think we're optimistic there's going to be a solution to that, but it is certainly a challenge to have ingredients coming in 12 hours before we're selling them and we're not quite sure what they're necessarily going to be. So it'd be good to see how that pans out for us.
Just also like to add on to that, like in future, there is a very strong possibility like we can leverage skill sets and probably develop sort of an API tool which can connect to different ERP systems, because ERP systems in general would capture expiry date and product shelf life, right? So we can then start estimating on a basic level. But yeah, there would be still some challenges that we might need to address during our pilot phase in terms of fresh fruits and vegetables, because they are normally not barcoded at a unit level.
So just a quick question, because you're looking at it from the social enterprise lens, did you also, I mean, even for starting with here in Singapore, look at the opportunities to well, partner or bring in the informal waste sector?
We haven't yet, no. No, but love to hear a little bit more about that, about if you think there might be opportunities for us to kind of build something in that we're missing, that'd be great.
Okay, great. I'll put some in the feedback comments.
Thanks, Karina.
Yeah, I would also like to add, instead of seeing the supply chain as a problem, you could actually turn it into a marketing proposition. So whatever input you get to produce new foods, it can become something like a pop-up food offer. I mean, you just position it differently so it becomes attractive rather than, you know, seeing it as a problem.
For sure, and actually one thing we spoke about was looking at kind of pop-ups in certain hawker centres where we could try and get kind of big name chefs that will come and host an evening where they're doing exactly that. We think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and on top of it, like currently there are systems in place which are tracking carbon value footprint for each of the products, right? So we can probably sell that to the retailers as well, where like we can tell them how much is their contribution, how much is their carbon footprint drop as a result of this exercise or with this partnership with us. And same, we can push it towards the customer as well. Like we can show them this is what your carbon points are, and we can probably have offers associated with it.
And we did also speak to Mark about potentially exploring the opportunity to building some kind of offset mechanism, albeit it has to be quite heavily kind of regulated, reviewed, audited, etc. But it's just something that's kind of at the back of the concept at the minute that we think could be quite interesting to explore.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to have to cut everyone off here. Thank you so much. I think those were really nice. I think many of the members of the team managed to speak up, had the chance to speak up. I think also big shout out to Zoe, you weren't able to answer the questions. So, but yep, she just unmuted herself if you want to take a look at her on the screen. So we also saw that this team also put out Unleash Plus. So just a plug over here, the Unleash Plus is the accelerator program for teams that have gone through Unleash. There's this Unleash Plus program. So if you're interested, you can go to the Unleash website to check it out. At the same time, I do note that we are running a bit over time. So I'm sorry, judges, and also everyone else that sorry about that. But at the same time, thanks so much for Shokla for that presentation, and also judges for that feedback. I think not just to this team, but all the teams as well. You've given some really good feedback in terms of other people they could speak to refine the ideas further. And if I could invite Team 7, Team Wallies, to start sharing your screen and maybe do a sound check to get ready.
All right, sound check, can you hear me? Sorry, can everyone hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Robin. Thank you so much. Yep,
All right.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Sorry, just give me a moment.
Okay, cool.
Good evening, assessors. We are Wallies, and we'll be presenting eWasted, a mobile app to help you with electronic waste. Only 6% of household e-waste in Singapore is recycled, turning us into the second largest generator of e-waste. When these electronics are disposed or sold for quick cash, it causes air pollution and health issues when not handled properly. But when recycled rightly, global e-waste could be worth $62.5 billion as the extracted rare metals attract a huge market. We have identified young adults aged 20 to 35 years old as our users. Next slide, please. Take Annie, for example, a 28-year-old middle-income female who purchases the latest electronic products regularly to stay trendy and satisfy their lifestyle needs. Our research revealed that young adult electronic consumers need a more relevant system to recycle their e-waste, as the current system is disconnected from what these young Singaporeans desire and expect from e-waste recycling. Next slide, please. Thus, we focused on three main components that are lacking in the current system: convenience, accessibility, and incentives. E-wasted app system is integrated in every step of the user process. Take Annie, for example, who has already downloaded the app beforehand. With emerging electronics equipped with RFID, if she buys an Apple iPhone 11, the latest model, her purchase is immediately recorded and linked to her in-app account. Next slide, please. Using that technology, at the end of shelf life of the product, Annie can use the app to access NEA's e-waste recycling station map that is integrated into the app and find the nearest recycling station for her. When she drops her iPhone into the bin, the recycling station records the e-waste data using the technology RFID, which can then be synced to her app account. This helps her earn in-app points that can be converted into incentives such as money, digital money that can be donated to various green and sustainable charities and organizations in Singapore, such as the Repair Kopitiam and other social initiatives. Here's a mock visual on what our app interface will look like. Simple and easy to use.
1 minute left.
E-Wasted helps users find relevant information easily and equips you with the ability to contribute to a social initiative that you care about. And in Annie's case, zero waste. Not only that, multiple users around Singapore can accumulate their points to achieve bigger milestones that help contribute to a larger social impact for various organizations and ultimately foster a more sustainable society. So what's in it for our partners, the electronic businesses who have to agree to the RFID technology that we are using? Firstly, companies can meet the Extended Producer Responsibility Goals, EPR for short, which is a policy rolled out by the NEA, where they have to bear some responsibility for the collection of their products when they reach the end life as their products get recycled. The information collected regarding the specific e-waste recycled can be given to businesses to contribute to their targets. Secondly, consumer insights can be gathered regarding the purchase and lifespan of their products. As such, we propose that these electronic businesses partner with the government and fund the digital
Team
money
Wallis, I'm going to have to cut you off over
improving their
here.
brand image at the same time.
Yep.
We are Wallis, and thank you.
Okay, perfect. You feel free to keep to the slide if you want. We have 4 minutes for judges to have their questions and feedback. Judges, on to you.
Could you just go one slide back, please?
Okay, so I'll just quickly speak as there doesn't seem to be some other comments. So I think very timely to be focused on e-waste, particularly with where that aligns with the government's rollout and policy position timing. For just to help in your business model development, I'll put these in the comments, but if you want to get the pricing of what the e-waste trades for in Singapore, right now, the best place you can go is down to the Fu Lane The cables range from about $4 a kilo to 6.8. Circuit boards and chipboards, depending on which component they are, that's about $20 a kilo to $40 a kilo. And the prize of all e-waste is to be able to get the gold in your CPU processor, and that, as of last week, was trading in Difu Lane for about 480 Singapore dollars a kilo. So I thought I'd give you those quite random numbers that I just happened to have from doing a pretty quick recce down at those lanes. So you can get this information really to hand by having good, simple conversations with those who are, already in the market. And really, just my feedback is to use those as you build out your business model. It's really important to be aware of the price that you'll be competing with, which is because it's quite well established in Singapore.
Wow, thank you so much. That would be great.
Just a very simple question from me whilst you're waiting is, what exactly are you trying to, what is the proposal you're making to a consumer? What is in it for me?
Yeah, so what's in it for the users? Because we understand that some users actually know that disposing the e-waste by throwing it to the general trash bin is actually extremely toxic. Many consumers actually understand that. And so they actually want a environmentally sustainable way to actually recycle these items. So here are some of the benefits that we try to present as incentives for these users. One reason why we actually didn't use discounts, but rather donations to charities, is actually because we understand that if we were to provide discounts, it may result in an unintended consequence of people over recycling. And what I mean by that is that some people may go to the extent where they buy the cheapest electronic item on the internet, for example, in bulk, and purposely recycle them just to get the most discounts they can receive. So that's why we went with charities, which we felt would actually drive consumers to recycle their e-waste more.
Yeah, are you aware that one of the biggest challenges with e-waste, with computers and stuff like that, is also wiping out the data on the devices? That is a big barrier for people to dropping off their devices unless they can drop it off at a point where I think that the term is degaussing the devices. So how have you thought about it, and how would you be tackling it?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. Our team hasn't really thought about it very well yet. We haven't thought it through very well, but that's a great challenge. From what I understand, the current design of the e-waste recycling bins placed around Singapore, they are typically placed in community centers, which are like frequently visited places, which I guess provides an element of security if anyone wants to steal the products. And actually, the e-waste recycling bins, the opening is extremely small, so it only allows you to slip in laptops and mobile phones, which are thinner. So it actually prevents people who have bad intentions to actually reach in to pick the product. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And maybe if I could just add, when we
Sorry about that. I would have to cut you off because of time constraints. We do have our judges are very busy people, and we have booked them till about 8 o'clock. So we do want to give them some time to have some discussion about the different teams. Sorry about that, Leah. Sorry about that we didn't get to give you a chance to speak.
All right, thank you so much, judges.
Yeah, thank you so much to Team Wally. Just to echo Roxanne, I think a comment Roxanne left in the chat is very interesting that there's a team looking at e-waste. I think that's something that a lot of us are very excited about. So, okay, so if I could get you to stop sharing your screen, please. Yep, thank you so much. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move the judges into a breakout room. So judges, feel free to move instead. I think then after that, then we'll come back and we'll also get to hear from the judges a little bit more about their deliberation and also some feedback they want to give to the teams more generally. So do bear with me a second as I move the judges and to the breakout rooms.
Meanwhile, all the participants, please stay into this room as we run you through the last session, which is the next steps, just to give you a visibility of what you can do next as a team in order to continue the ideas and develop the ideas further.
Well done, everyone. Just want to say, it's really good job. Really, I feel like a proud mom. It was great. I'm sure the facilitators also feel like proud parents.
Okay, give me a moment. I'm gonna have to turn my screen off because I'm gonna look. I'm gonna have to concentrate on that. If maybe the facilitators and the judges, facilitators. Yeah, Hien, you're onto it. So if you could start sharing the screen and if you could start speaking with them.
Awesome. So yes, thank you again, Cindy, for hosting the pitch. It was a bit technically challenging, but we got it through anyhow. And thank you everyone for staying on. In the next 15 minutes, I just want to walk you through some of the practical next steps on what you can do as a team and how to moving on from this hacks as well, so that we don't end up with just some ideas, but actually some action steps.
Hien, can I just interrupt? I'm still in this room. I think I'm supposed to be in the judging room.
Yep, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thanks, sorry about that, Marilyn. I'm moving you there. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Meanwhile, you can listen to us speaking as well. Right, moving on. Yes, so in the past, almost 48 hours, we've been focusing on these, the two first steps of this innovation process, which is the problem framing and a bit of ideations as well, as some of you have been able to identify your solutions, some idea for your solutions as initially, but as you know, we didn't have a lot of time. Some of the ideas just stopped as a very initial stage without further development. That leaves us with another 4 steps to go on after this before you can actually launch your product successfully or your service successfully to the market and get some tractions and actually impact on your entrepreneur journeys as well. So I just want to focus on a few practical steps you can take in order to move on through this innovations funnels from problem framing, which you have completed this weekend, into completing ideations, also prototyping, testing, and implementing as well. So yes, we have gone through the framing of the problem and identifying some needs as well. But if you have noticed, in the past 48 hours in the research you have done, as well as in the conversation you have had, are limited due to the time restraint. So some of the advice we have for you is that take the next couple of weeks to regroup yourself, have a proper project plan, and start looking at a further conversation with involved stakeholders, as well as companies and also solutions that are currently existing in the market, to really identify and nail down the pain points that you want to focus on. As you noticed throughout the entire pitch, some of the mentors and also the facilitators have also commented a few players in the field that you can definitely reach out. So do take note of them and make sure that you reach out to them in the upcoming weeks as well. Yeah. And also when it comes into implementation, it doesn't happen that tomorrow, now you have your idea, tomorrow you're going to go to the market and start earning money. It doesn't happen like magic like that overnight. So you actually need to put on a project management hat as well, in which you need to, again, group back as a team and discuss with yourself either you would like to continue as a team. Some of you may have, personal commitment and can't continue, and that's completely fine. But whoever stayed on, make sure you have a project plan. Where are your milestones? What are the steps you're gonna take? Because these milestones and these dates that you have in your mind will really help you to commit, as well as moving on and understand also at the same time, check on with yourself your progress as well. And as you're moving through the innovation process, you will start having a lot of more crazy ideas, and you talk to more people in the market. A lot of new innovation or innovative thoughts going to pop in your mind. Just keep in mind that these are also not validated. So you may have a lot of assumptions. Make sure that throughout your entire project, you test your assumptions with your end users or existing, players in the market. In terms of practical steps, how do we move on from here? Within the Unleash program, as we have mentioned in the beginning, also in the pitch as well, we do have Unleash Plus, which is a early accelerator programs for Unleash alumni to continue, in the next couple 6 months to, organize their idea and actually, commit into developing their ideas into actionable solutions and launch it to the markets as well. Beside that, within the Unleash organizations ourselves, we also have a strong alumni network, which you may have received invitations to join our social platforms in the last couple of days. Please make sure you create your profile. Please make sure to sign up to this platform so that you can tap into this massive network of innovators, as well as supporters and potential investors, or maybe potential co-founders for your businesses in the futures as well. These networks is massive, is across 100 countries, and in the past couple of years, as you know, ex-participant, I can say that the network, 4,000 plus, alumni network. So that's a massive network you can tap into. A question from Nick. Do you know when the applications for Unleash Plus 2021 may open? At the moment, we don't have the timeline yet. But don't worry, the moment you sign on to social, you receive frequent updates from Unleash Secretariat, who will tell you then when the application will be open, not only for Unleash Plus, but also any other programs or any other new partners they have to support their ideas that you can tap onto as well. So make sure the first thing you do, sign up onto social. Yeah. Okay, yes, we talk a bit about this already. Right, so if we look into the local landscape of Singapore, I just want to also emphasize where can you start, or what are the people that you can start looking at in terms of partnerships and working with them, or getting the support from them, either be it financial, either be it knowledge-based or materialistic support as well. We definitely want to suggest you to look at the local communities of innovators, as well as innovation hubs that we have within Singapore. For those of you based in Singapore, so Innovate 360 is one of them that you can tap onto. And by the way, all the names that we put here are just examples of existing partners that you can tap into. But feel free to do your own Google research as well. And if you look at, you're asking yourself, where can you hang about? Where can you find, like-minded innovators? You can definitely tap into, the innovation network in Singapore, such as Magic Collective, someone that we mentioned on Friday Mixers. There are also many other similar, innovation network within the countries as well. We definitely will share with you the contact from Magic Collective after the event. And when you look into, potential partnership organizations for grants, for example, or further mentorship opportunities, you can look at Temex Tech Foundations or even Green Collective SGs, who has a physical store in Funan Mall in Singapore. They have been kindly enough to open the store up as a space that you can test and validate your MVPs as well. So do tap on them. Right. Yes, and also one exciting news, just want to share with you that within the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment by Singapore, they are launching by the end of this year, a new SG Eco Fund to really promote and support environmental sustainability ideas. So what I want you to do right now, take out your phone, screen the QR code on the screen right now to subscribe yourself to their mailing list so that you can get the update once this fund is launched. They didn't give us the exact number, but I have to say that they did say that it's a massive numbers in a few millions that will be launching into the market at the end of this year. So do keep an eye out for that. More information from our side will be coming to you as well post the program. All right, yes, I did mention about this. Yes, and I want to just invite Vinny to talk a bit more about some of the activities we have planned for you as an OT team after this.
Thanks, Yan. So we're really, really excited for everyone. Post-tech, after this weekend, the support does not stop here. So we have planned mentorship for you. And there's also other things like what Nick just raised up, Unleash Plus. There are different methodologies, the community that we were talking about, Social Hub. So you're really not in this alone. And you have us and the community right now, your peers that are with you. Everybody has their own expertise. And we urge you to keep on speaking in Slack, keep in touch on various platforms. So next slide. So what we have planned for you is really, really exciting. 6 months of check-ins with you, but 4 months of support. So we're looking at having workshops and also your one-on-one mentorships if any of you are keen on carrying on. So there'll be a workshop every month, and you'll be getting a 60-minute check-in with your mentors every month as well for 4 months. So 4 times 60%, 60 minutes with your mentors. So we've got 2 workshops already lined up for you. We've got a speaker from Social Impact Catalyst who will talk about entrepreneurship journey, like a really condensed form of that program that they have, and they'll talk about it in like 1.5 to 2 hours. And then for the second workshop, we'll have Alpha Beta. Ian is actually online right now. We've invited him to talk about how you collect data. I think one team or someone brought up that question before in one of the panel sessions. It's so difficult to track at least plastic waste or waste management details in Singapore, but Karina from Circulate Capital, one of the judges, has teamed up with Alpha Beta NTU, the National Technology University of Singapore, to they have a project going on that's actually doing this. So at the end, I think by the end of the year, they're just transcribing all that data, and if it's any use, I think it's definitely useful for sure, but they'll share it back with the cohort, and they're fine with that. So we're really lucky to have them on board as well. Next slide, please. So again, these are your mentors, really outstanding group of people. You won't ask for anyone better. They're all so diverse. Next slide, please, Hian. So yes, please let us know if you would like to continue on with your mentorship. I will drop in a link. It's not the current Airtable link, but this one, I'll drop it in the chat right now. So please let me know about this. At the same time, please also, sorry, Hian, go back. I think we skipped this slide just now, but after the presentations, we wanted to get your feedback on, which idea would most likely take over the world. So if you could fill in that form for me as well, that'd be great. So next slide. So congratulations, we finished with the problem solving hack. You've got meetings with us lined up for the next 6 months if anybody is interested on staying on. And then like what Nick asked, there's Unleash Plus, which is a pre-acceleration program that will probably happen the same time in July next year. That will run for about 6 months also. Hopefully by then, there'll be physical programs like this. But yeah, so thank you everyone for joining this, and stay in touch. Hian.
Definitely. Stay in touch is the most important thing. I think the magic touch of Unleash is really coming from the network that you have created throughout the hack, also in the future events with Unleash as well, as you sign on to social platform. So please make sure, again, I have to mention this again, please log in and create your profiles, as well as, stay in touch with us, the organizing team, through the Slack channel, through our personal emails, as well as reaching out to us on LinkedIn if you need any support throughout your journey of developing the ideas you have in this weekend into an actual product. We will be very excited and happy to support you throughout the time, your journeys as well. And also complete the monitoring and evaluation post-hack survey, which we'll be sending to you very quickly on the Slack channel, as well as a reminder in the emails. Okay, you don't need to go anywhere. We're just going to stay here until the results are announced. But I just want to say thank you again for staying on in the next 48 hours. This has been a very new journey for so many of you. The first time doing virtual hack and the first time interacting with the innovation process from Unleash, but we really appreciate your energy, your commitment, your desire to inspire and innovate and to make a difference really for Singapore, and not just Singapore, but also for, other places that you're coming from. So we, as an organizing team, truly inspired by you. And I also want to extend our to, the facilitators who have been with us from the beginning to the end and who have been super helpful and nice and staying available online to, respond to any requests from the teams, also from our organizing team size as well. By the way, don't leave yet. We still need to announce the results. You still need to find out who's the winner. So please stay in the room for another few minutes. And I think the judges will be with us very soon in just a few ticks. Yeah.
So if you guys haven't voted, please vote for the idea that will most likely take over the world. That I just thought it'd be quite fun. At least some, light-hearted awards to give out. Pop it in the chat again.
Sorry, may I know where the noise coming from?
Noise?
I keep hearing the ding ding. It's like I have no idea where it's coming from.
Okay, I'm just going to take this time. I just want to give a major shout out to our facilitators. I thank you and thank you all, but let me just name you all so everyone knows. We have Cynthia, who was working with Team 1 and Team 2. We had Naveen and Suji, who are working with Team 3 and Team 4, especially Naveen, big shout out. He was actually shuttling between 2 hacks, actually. And also we have Fatima. I'm not sure if she's still on the call with us. She was working with Teams 5, 8, and 9. We also have Farah, who is working with Team 6 and 7, and also not forgetting the guy guarding the gates. We have Mark, who was the lead facilitator, and he was the one seeing you through all the gate checks. So big shout out. I think the teams really enjoyed working with everyone, and I think we really couldn't have run this whole hack without you. So on to, back to
I might just add 2 seconds, can I? Good. I'm the lead facilitator, so I've got some rights, I suppose.
The authority.
Yeah, something like that. I may as well use it. So yes, thanks to all of the facilitating team. Amazing job, and really kudos to all of the teams. What a great bunch of solutions were found in just 2 days. It's just shocks and amazes me how well problem framing happened and how good some of these solutions are. And then there's certainly, I think, some that have legs. So go forth and fix the world.
Yeah, and you're still sharing, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Oops.
All right, while we wait, should we play some music? I'm a bit nervous, but I'm very excited.
I think we have the judges back.
Oh, the judges are back. Hi. All right, I will ask everybody to start voting for the idea that will most likely take over the world. We have 27 responses. It's quite good. Thank you, guys. Latika, are we good?
Yes, we're all good, all set.
Long, are you good? Okay,
yes,
great.
Yes, we're all set.
Okay, perfect.
You have a drum roll sound here?
So
not yet.
Damn it.
There's a few slides to go through.
Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, hang on. Oh, I better like put it to full screen. I don't want you guys to look at the winners. Okay, sharing my screen. All right, guys, this is it. How y'all feeling? I can't really hear you. It's a virtual thing, but I hope everyone's ready, excited, and revved up. Okay. So we like to take this time to recognize some people. You've been awake from 2 in the morning until 10. And these guys are from Italy, Ecuador, UK, Denmark, Netherlands. Thank you for staying on and being committed to this. We'd like to shout out Jordana, Diego, Katie, Juhi, Regina, Wiraj, and Zoe. Thank you for staying up for the past 2 days. You guys are superstars. I would probably like sleep, take a nap halfway. So results have come in, and the idea most likely to take over the world. My colleague, Dinlang, would you like to do this?
All right, guys. So this is a moment you've been all waiting for. This is a People's Choice Award.
Not top one, not top three, but this.
Not top three, but the idea most likely to take over the world. So please prepare a virtual drum roll. So virtual applause. You can drum roll on your computer as well. So, okay, are you ready to know who is the idea most likely to take over the world? So, okay, virtual drum roll. Vinis, please, next slide.
3, 2, 1.
So, congrats team Singlish, aka the Cup Busters. You are the idea most likely to take over the world. So please, virtual applause, virtual emoji that you can use.
These are peer votes. Okay. And third place goes to, drum roll. Well done, Team Trinity. Well done. We would like to invite the team to say any words, and also judges if you like. Team.
This is unexpected. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Well done.
I love the videos.
Yeah, we want to say thank you for the amazing guidance that we received as well during the process, and the wonderful energy throughout the whole weekend. It was really wonderful getting to know everyone and learning from each other. Thank you very much.
Yep, shout out to Naveen, who was a great facilitator for us. So thank you very much.
Judges, would you like to say anything? Otherwise, we will move on.
I also want to thank Mark. Mark always hopped in and out like randomly saying hi and gave like great advice as well.
Amazing. Okay, Dinlang.
All right. Yes, Mark always appears without. Yeah. So okay, cool. So okay, next is the second place goes to. So please, virtual round of applause again. Pick your emoji.
3.
So 2, 1. Next slide. So Team Wallies, congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank
Farah, it was super
Thank you to everyone, especially Farah, who guided us a lot over the past 2 days. It was an amazing experience. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Robin, do you want to say something?
Yeah, and thank you,
stuff.
Asim, as well, for like popping in once in a while to like give us some feedback, like trying to find our user profile. It really refined our whole ideation concept. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks to Diego for staying up late also. He's all the way at Ecuador.
Thank you so much for everyone. In Ecuador is 7 a.m. So I am still awake. Thank you so much for everything. It was a great experience.
Okay. All right. Dinlang, we're doing this together here. The moment you guys, everyone is waiting for.
Okay, so drum roll.
Yeah, my stop. We're trying to make this as fun as possible. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Shokla. Team A. Well done. Any
Wow, thanks guys. That's amazing. Woo!
Thank you very much.
Thanks for giving us like a really good kind of methodology, and I think it's really good for making us sort of think about things in a slightly different way. It's been really enjoyable.
It was great to have like Fatima and Mark jumping in out of nowhere in the middle and telling us like, guys, where are you guys? And then we we all had a tendency to jump to solutions, but then I think we all decided to follow the process, and I think we came up with something very good. And the prize is just a cherry on the cake. I think working with the entire team was amazing. So it was a good perspective to get, and probably work on it more.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The feedback from Fatima and Mark has been very good, and really kept us in the process and following the steps of the whole Unleash methodology, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for the first time, maybe not the first time this weekend, I agree with what my teammates have said. So thanks, guys, and thanks all the organizing team and everyone else who has given up their weekend. It was a really great experience. So
healthy debate and discussion, Tom. It was healthy.
Yeah. No, I said we have agreed and disagreed. A bit of both.
Yeah.
Cognitive diversity.
For sure.
Yeah, and a big shout out to both like Tom and Zoe, because they are in different time zones. So me and Nick are pretty much comfortable in our time zones, but Zoe had been waking up 3 in the morning to work with us and go through all these sometimes conflicting discussions and arguments, but it was fun at the end of the day.
No, it was fun. It was worth waking up for, guys.
Amazing.
See you in Singapore now.
Thank you, guys. So, all three teams, you have received first place. You've got $500 grant. Second, $300 and $200 for third place by Unleash, sponsored by Unleash. You'll get 3 to 6 months co-working space and mentorship provided by Russ of the Social Collider. And you've got scholarships for Impact Entrepreneur Program, a virtual Impact Entrepreneurship Program provided by the Spaceship. So congratulations. Well done, guys. Long, would you like to?
Yes, so we spoke about the prize for the 3 top teams, but yes, even though you might not be a finalist, we have something for everyone. So as mentioned a bit earlier, you will all, if you decide to continue on your project, you will be able to get support from mentors that you have, some you have met during these 2 days, some you haven't met yet, but yes, you have received the form earlier to show your interest in receiving mentorship support. So I think someone will reshare on the chat as well on Slack. But yes, every team will be able to receive that if that's something that could help move your project forward. So yes, be proud of yourself all. I think Vinith has a cute message for you now.
Yeah, you guys did so well. Every one of us have seen you grow from 0 to hero, like what Farah also said. You've done a great job for putting in so much time and effort. The organizing team, we know your pain. We did this over a week and a half without any sleep, really, to be honest. And you guys did it in 2 days, plus it's virtual. So kudos to all of you. Be super, super proud of yourself. The ideas that came in were really top. So well done.
I would also just to give some time for the judges to provide feedback on the pitches. I know, Russ, you have to leave. I'm not sure if you're still with us, but if you could just quickly for 2 to 3 minutes, any feedback for the teams on pitching, on the solutions. Lilang, would you like to go first?
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to congratulate the team. All of you are winners. Entrepreneurship is just a journey. You might not win this time around. I'm sure you learned a lot of valuable lessons. I would say, why would some of the projects emerge as, I would say, winner or take some of the top 3? Basically, perhaps some of the ideas are developed further. For example, all of you articulated very well in terms of desirability. Why do we need this issue? I think all of you thought through that. Well done. So you're all on equal path. But the next step that we evaluate is how feasible it is. Some of the solutions where you say, oh, this is my idea, but have you thought of your competitors? Have you thought of, if you're successful, somebody can replicate you easily? So these are the things that you got to watch out for when you talk about your proposals. And of course, viability is very important. So throughout the whole conversation, I keep asking, who's going to pay for it? How is it commercially viable? So this will be one of the main considerations to for any proposal that come to us. Some of the winning teams came up with more, I would say, the kind of viability that I can really see the partners coming in their own right. That means you don't even have to persuade them. It's just very logical that they will come on board. And these are the proposals that were likely to go much further. So I'll say that each of you, you want to fine tune, if you want to bring this project, your project forward, do fine tune them and feel free to talk to all the judges or talk to people. I think sustainability is an ecosystem where all of us are very proud of you coming together. And if you have any issue, please feel free to reach out to us. So that's my comment.
I mean, I think you've captured it perfectly. I mean, there was a lot of alignment along in the judging, and so I put in the chat. I mean, really just to plug that for those, whether or not you were in the top 3, that all of your ideas are worthwhile to continue to expand on. You know, there is the Waste 2020 Startup X application that is still open. There is big prize money in that from a granting and funding space. So it just, because you have to get used to hearing a no a lot when you are funding and raising, and but you know, just really like keep fine tuning, use this network, use your access to us, the mentors, to your peers, and just continually to, you know, build better on your ideas. It doesn't mean go back to the drawing board, right?
Thank you. Marilyn or Stephanie, if you'd like to say anything.
Yeah, I keep it short. Thanks so much for all the energy, and for it's just great to know that young people are spending their weekends and their nights like thinking how to make our world a little bit better. So it's great to see all those ideas, and I learned a lot. That was great, and yeah, I hope this connection can build further. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will go next. Really building on what Li Lang and Karina have already said, I think the value of spending 2 days together is really in the people you've met on this platform. And so if you're not a winner, definitely, you know, talk to everybody you've met. And also I would say, don't give up, keep on working on the idea and follow up, because a lot of these hackathons, you know, are actually not followed up afterwards, and then it's really been a waste of 2 days. So make sure there is value in the follow-up and keeping on working the ideas together. Just a few things I would like to say as well. When you come up with an idea, try to scout very carefully whether that idea already exists, so to avoid duplication, because there's so many hackathons around and so much energy that's already gone into many innovation challenges. So I always find it a waste of time, since we're talking about waste, to duplicate ideas that are already there. So that I would really encourage you to do. Secondly, you know, coming back to the circular value chain, break it down in every single component and see what the challenges are along the line, and try to talk to stakeholders for every separate component of the value chain to really understand what the problem is. And then I would like to leave you with one message, and it's basically what I call the 3 C's. Remain curious, remain compassionate, and remain committed to the cause. I wish you all the best, whatever your endeavors are going to be in the future, and feel free to connect if you feel I can add value. Thank you.
Thank you all so much to the judges. I think Russ had to leave, but to the 4 judges who are still here, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support and your feedback. And I'm sure it's very valuable to the startups and entrepreneurs here. If you understand, we booked you till 8 p.m. So please feel free to leave if you have to, but we'd love it if you can stay. And, you know, obviously if the innovators can network with you a bit more and ask you any questions about feedback directly, but if you need to leave, completely understand. I'll pass it back to Venice.
Thanks, Rafika. All right, I also want to give this time to Carolyn. She's also a mentor, and she stayed on watching your pitch. So Carolyn, if you have anything to add, otherwise I can continue. Just want to put in some speed.
Oh yeah, sure. Thanks for the opportunity. So congratulations to all the teams. It was really, really inspiring. And actually, I myself have been just recently launching a startup as well, have been there just a few months back. And I think all of the points that I've mentioned are very, very valid. I think one point that I would like to stress, and I think that I have been also asked a lot, is really about the also financial sustainability of your business idea. And I think this is very important to think about it. Just because it's a business idea which is in the sustainability space doesn't mean that it shouldn't be profitable. And I think this is very key to make it successful and to create impact. And so this is a message I just want to bring to all of you guys. Think about this when you are developing your idea. How can you create more impact by making a strong business case as well? Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Mark also has some words to say. Please jump in, Mark, if you're here.
I do have some words to say. So first of all, I've already said thanks to all the teams and excellent job from all the teams. You should absolutely, if you have the opportunity, stay in contact with each other. I'll be honest, I'm in about 6 Unleash WhatsApp groups over the last sort of 3 years, and there's not a day goes by, even from the Unleash we had here in Singapore, that I don't get a message from someone around the world. It's an amazing network. Now, the biggest thanks, I think, for the entire weekend are actually due to the organizing team. You guys are all legends. It's easily as good as last year's effort in Shenzhen, but with less flights to organize. So really, really amazing job. Everything went smoothly. I think everyone has got a lot out of this, and we do absolutely appreciate every second of work you've done with no sleep over the past several weeks that you've been working on this. So congratulations for a job very well done.
Thanks, Mark. All right. Judges, right now we're just going to end the presentation with next steps for the participants. So you may pop off if you would like, or you could stay on also. So I'm just going to share my screen. Back to the otter. That did really well. Dylan, would you like to start?
Yes, so a few things for you to do. So we will send you the submission form by Unleash. So it's basically for you to submit your idea to the broader Unleash community, as well as to the Unleash Secretariat, so they can always have your idea in their community. So in case they want to showcase it or they want to reach out to specific teams. So do submit your idea in the submission form. We'll also share with you.
Oh, just want to add, sorry, Dylan. I've checked with the Secretariat that Unleash doesn't own your ideas, so it's all yours. So don't worry about any copyright or anything. It's yours. So just want to put it out there. Yeah.
Yes, it's yours, and it's only for them to showcase it and support you further if there is any opportunity. We'll also send you a survey form for you to provide your feedback on how was the hack. So yeah, we'll love to know how you felt, what was good, how to improve for the next hacks in the future. And we'll be in touch with you for anything related to post-hack events, support, mentorship, etc., etc. So yes, it's ending today, but we'll still be there to support you. And of course, we'll have a first group picture now, and then we'll have a surprise. But let's have a first group picture now again after the pitches. So if you can all turn your cameras on again. If you can all put either your team background picture like Shokla, or if you can as a background picture, that would be great. Okay, so we have 2 pages now. Okay, let's do something different than the first one. Maybe you can do like a pose like this, you can do a Korean heart, you can do a big heart like this, or you cannot see because of the background. Okay, we can all do like Venice, because Venice will do an amazing pose, like the blossoming flower. Okay, so.
Love it, Pratt.
A few people don't have their cameras on. Okay, I'll just let 3 seconds for that. Okay. Okay, Marine. Okay, perfect.
Smile, make a pose.
1, smile, make a pose. I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, don't move. I'll go to the second page, which is randomized. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, I'll give it back to Vinis for something exciting.
Oh yes. I just wanted. Can someone text that chat and see whether it's all right? Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. We've got an exciting idea actually. We thought, since you've been working in silos, shall we go to Italy for a bit? The land, look at this, the Tower of Pizza. Do you get it? I love it. So it's an optional invitation to visit the Italy hack. As you know, there are like 5 hacks happening at the same time this weekend. And then we connected up with one of our old Shenzhen alumni from last year, and he's running that hack. And we thought, it's a great idea. The part of the reason why Unleash was so special to all of us was because back in China, Singapore, and Denmark, there were like 1,000 people in one area. So you get to meet all people from around the world. And we felt like, even though we're just working in silos, it's a bit missing in this virtual hack. And we thought, how can we do this? So have I stopped sharing? I have, right? So just wondering, does anybody know what did? Oh, okay, we can join them. Is anybody interested? He said, yes, we can come. We can go take pictures, say some hi. It'll be quite fun. Shall we do that? Well, it's an invitation. I'll get the Zoom link.
It's in the chat, guys. Just click on the link and you'll be there.
So I hope to see you guys there, but otherwise, great job. Some of you might want to go to sleep, but it will just be 10 minutes. And if we don't see you, thank you so much for joining us. Latika, Dinlong, Asim, Sini, do you want to say anything before we wrap this whole thing up? You'll still hear from us from emails, but yeah. Anybody like to chime in?
Maybe I can first just thank you all so much for your dedication. It's been obviously a very packed 2 days. We hope many of you are taking Monday off just so you can rest for a while, especially the ones who dialed in from different time zones. But thank you all so much. I hope you got to experience the Unleashed Spirit. And obviously, while we can't replicate the whole event online, we hope we were able to do our best. And please do stay in touch. Do fill out the contact form so we can stay in touch and learn from each other and see where all your stories go, especially the ones who decide to pursue with the startup. Please do let us know, and we will stay in touch. Thank you.
It was wonderful, and I just felt like for 2 days I was back in Unleash. It just physically sad for me that we are not physically together present, but it somehow it didn't make any difference. And I spent a lot of time with some of the teams. It was really great working with you. So amazing.
All good. If everyone's good, shall we pop over? Otherwise, thank you so much for being here physically, everyone together. Virtually everyone together. It's really been a joy. Don't forget to fill in the Kudo board so you can say thank you to your peers and your facilitators. So it'll be on the interweb forever. Yeah, we'll see you in Italy if you are joining. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening, morning, rest. Ciao.
You guys are amazing. Keep in touch.